Over the last year, the NBA has been flooded with gambling accusations at a rate we've never seen before. Players, coaches, and basically anyone associated with the league has witnessed what has been going on with players betting against themselves and faking injuries to make more money. But just recently, a story was released by the FBI that may have just changed the entire landscape of the league as we know it, playing into the massive gambling problem with the NBA. So what exactly is going on? On the morning of Thursday, October 23rd, the FBI and ESPN released a statement that they had arrested 6 individuals accused of allegedly having taken part in some sort of illegal gambling involving the NBA, and that more details were to follow. Immediately, both fans and executives around the league knew that something big was just discovered by the FBI. I cannot stress enough that the word big would be an understatement in this case. You see, just a few hours later, it was announced that Chauncey Billups, a Hall of Fame NBA player, champion, and coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, along with Terry Rozier, a player for the Miami Heat, had officially been arrested. This story has gotten so insane so quickly that it is now an actively updating breaking news headline on CNN and basically every other major news outlet. With that being said, here's what you need to know. Billups, Rozier, and another former player and coach named Damon Jones are allegedly a part of a massive NBA gambling ring investigation that formerly involved Jontay Porter, who was questioned by the FBI and gave them information regarding this case. As more information is coming out quite literally as I'm making this video, it's finally become clear how exactly this went down. Rozier would allegedly start by contacting a group of people in an underground secret betting club and tell them what he had planned to do during the game. He would tell them to place hundreds of thousands of dollars on him going under in almost every statistical category. It was claimed that Rozier would go on to fake an injury midway through one of these games to sit out, meaning that the bets his alleged associates placed would cash out. In a completely separate gambling scandal, the head coach of the Blazers, Chauncey Billups, is being accused of allegedly working with some of the most powerful and dangerous New York organized crime families on an extremely large poker scheme. When the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, did his press conference today, he said that the value of money involved in this case is within tens of millions of dollars, all stolen, extorted, or fraudulently acquired according to him. Along with that, the case with Chauncey Billups was expanded to 31 individuals, all involved in illegal poker games mixed with alleged money laundering, violence, and theft of millions of dollars. So just to summarize all of this, 3 individuals involved with the NBA were arrested on counts of alleged insider gambling, money laundering, and violent extortion. So with all of that information, what exactly does this mean for the current state of the NBA? To fully understand and answer that question, we have to go back to when Jontay Porter was arrested and permanently banned from the NBA. If you didn't already know, a player by the name of Jontay Porter was arrested last April for allegedly being a part of an insider gambling ring that disclosed confidential information from the Raptors organization and the NBA, while also manipulating his game performances to lead prop bets into his favor. It was later revealed that he worked on this part himself and personally bet on the games, which is clearly much different from what we're seeing released about the Rozier and Billups case. But what's shockingly similar about Porter's case was that he would not only intentionally play bad himself, but he would fake injuries and illnesses just like Terry Rozier did so that co-conspirators could bet on this. In one particular case, they won over $1 million. So what this means is that Jontay Porter was initially acting alone until a mysterious ring of bettors contacted him and he later agreed to fake injuries midway through various games. Now, I'm no FBI investigator, but it surely is strange how similar the Porter case was to the Rozier case, with the fact that a ring of secret bettors who had contact with the players bet on games where the player involved would intentionally remove themselves from the game. Just a short time after this, Malik Beasley became the next NBA player accused of illegal gambling on their own performance. It was found that in January of 2024, a major spike in Beasley's over/under rebounding prop saw dramatic shifts to bettors placing large amounts of money on the under. It would spark investigations investigation of Beasley by the FBI, and while he's not currently arrested, his contract with the Pistons is currently on pause, which could have major implications on his career. With the release of the Rozier case, this begs the question, is the NBA being taken over by large rings of bettors and players who value some extra money over doing their job? It's really scary to think that basically any NBA player could be betting on themselves to play terribly. I mean, just look at Jontay Porter and Terry Rozier's field goal percentages from the last year they played. Porter was at 38%, among the worst of the league, and Rozier was almost the same at 39%, also one of the worst in the league. Now, to say that every player was shooting below 40% in the NBA is gambling would be a pretty crazy statement, but the fact that we even have to mention that shows how crazy the NBA is becoming, with gambling becoming more and more popular. I posted a video not too long ago about the secrets and wrongdoings that all the sportsbook companies don't want you to know, and now it looks like that's becoming more and more relevant with this case. But to fully get down what's going on and what the future holds, we need to look deeply into how exactly all of this went down, and the events that transpired between Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, and Damon Jones. I know that I had discussed earlier what had happened and essentially what was going on, but I intentionally left out some very key information about exactly how all of this happened. This deserves its own section of the video, so get ready, because what you are about to hear is probably some of the craziest NBA news of all time. With that being said, here's the story. In the 2022-23 NBA season, Terry Rozier was playing as a member of the Charlotte Hornets. Started his alleged scheme with members close to him, possibly family and friends. He informed them that he would be leaving the game early with an injury, which is quite a strange statement coming from an NBA player before a game. With this information in mind, the betting ring close to Rozier placed wagers more than $200,000 on his under statistics using online sportsbook programs. In this game, which was on March 23rd, 2023, against the New Orleans Pelicans, Rozier left the game with an apparent injury just 9 minutes into the game. This single move to fake an injury very early into the game allegedly generated tens of thousands in revenue for the bettors, according to the United States Department of Justice. Now, moving on to Damon Jones, a former NBA player and unofficial assistant coach for the Lakers who was working with Rozier, shared and sold insider information on two separate accounts in the 2022-23 season. He allegedly received insider information on the injury status and lineup decisions of various NBA teams, and then shared that with his co-conspirators, allowing them to place extremely large wagers on their under statistics. One time, he allegedly received information about LeBron James, which turned out to be a game that James did not play. Now, moving on to Chauncey Billups, the current coach of the Blazers and NBA champion with the Pistons. He was involved in a gambling scandal even more insane. He started by participating in illegal underground poker games taking place in New York City, Las Vegas, Miami, and the Hamptons. These poker games allegedly involved 4 of the 5 most famous and powerful New York City mafia families, who paid Billups and Damon Jones over $2,500 in a prepayment to make sure they were legit, according to government officials who investigated him. In these games, they would allegedly use high-tech cheating technology to shuffle the cards, along with hidden cameras and light fixtures, which was all used to allegedly steal millions of dollars from the potential victims of these poker games. Chauncey Billups' role in all of this was to allegedly sit there and play the games, using his status to make them seem legit to the outside players. On another occasion, Rozier would allegedly use his co-conspirators to threaten an NBA player into handing over key information about potential pre-existing gambling debts. This seems to be some sort of connection to the Billups case, because the Justice Department claims that violence like armed robberies and holding players at gunpoint were used to get money. So with that, I'll give you one last rundown and summary about exactly what went down, including the Jontay Porter story, because it is a lot. This all started back in April, when Porter was arrested and later banned from the NBA for faking injuries and intentionally playing bad in order to cash out on bets he and co-conspirators of his made. Malik Beasley was being investigated for a very similar thing from his time with the Bucks, but no arrests were made involving his case. It looks like he too was being accused of betting on his under statistics. It was quiet for a few months, obviously, until now, when 3 people closely affiliated with the NBA were all arrested this morning. Chauncey Billups was accused of being in an underground poker game cheating scandal, which involved money laundering, extortion, and violent manners to get tens of millions of dollars out of potential victims. For Terry Rozier, he and some other alleged co-conspirators close to him placed bets on his under statistics in multiple games where he faked injuries, very similar to what Jontay Porter did. For Damon Jones, he was acting as an unofficial assistant coach for the Lakers and shared insider confidential information about lineups and injuries to people looking to place bets, and in return, he would get paid a ton of money by the bettors once they cashed out on the information he provided. The FBI says that this investigation lasted over a year, and they are continuing to monitor the NBA and its players to ensure that nothing like this is going on. This is easily one of the most insane and unbelievable stories I've ever seen come out of the NBA. So what do you think about this whole situation? Should Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier be banned from the NBA if they're found guilty of all this? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe so you never miss anything new about this developing story, as I'll be the first to post about it. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!